Welcome to Life Matters Simplified, your daily dose of wisdom. In this episode, we'll be tackling a difficult yet crucial topic: how to handle toxic friends and family members. Let's be honest, dealing with toxic people can be draining, confusing, and emotionally exhausting. Sometimes they're friends you've known for years. Other times, they're family members you simply can't avoid. So, how do you protect your mental and emotional well-being without feeling guilty or creating unnecessary conflict? Stick around as we break this down step by step. Let's simplify life together. Segment 1. What does toxic really mean? Before we get into solutions, let's define the problem. What does a toxic relationship look like? Toxic people often exhibit behaviors like constant negativity and criticism, manipulation and guilt-tripping, controlling or overly demanding behavior, disrespecting your boundaries, emotional or verbal abuse. Ask yourself, is there someone in your life who makes you feel anxious, exhausted, or guilty after every interaction? If yes, you may be dealing with a toxic relationship. Segment 2. Understanding why people become toxic. Here's a tough truth. Not all toxic people are bad people. Sometimes, they are wounded individuals projecting their own pain onto others. They might have unresolved trauma, be insecure and use control as a coping mechanism, have never learned how to have healthy relationships. But here's the key question. Does understanding them mean you have to tolerate their behavior? Absolutely not. This leads us to the real challenge. How do you handle these relationships in a healthy way? Segment 3. The 5 strategies for handling toxic friends and family members. Let's break this down into 5 practical strategies. 1. Set and enforce boundaries. Ever noticed how toxic people hate boundaries? That's because they thrive on control. What does setting a boundary sound like? I'm not comfortable discussing this topic with you. I can't answer calls after 9 p.m. I won't tolerate being spoken to disrespectfully. Practical tip: use the broken record technique. When they push back, and they will, repeat your boundary calmly but firmly, like a broken record. 2. Limit exposure and control your energy. You can't always cut toxic people out, especially if they're family, but you can control your level of interaction. Ask yourself, do I need to respond to every message or call immediately? Can I reduce our time together or meet in group settings? Can I shift the focus to neutral topics when interacting? Practical tip: use the gray rocks method. If someone thrives on drama, stop giving them emotional reactions. Respond in a neutral, unemotional way, like a boring gray rock. Eventually, they'll lose interest. 3. Don't try to fix or change them. Repeat after me. I am not responsible for fixing someone else's toxic behavior. It's tempting to think, maybe if I explain, they'll understand. But in most cases, toxic people don't want to change. Practical tip: shift your focus from fixing them to protecting yourself. 4. Stop feeling guilty for protecting your peace. Guilt is a weapon toxic people use to keep control. You might hear things like, "You've changed. You don't care about me anymore. After all I've done for you, this is how you treat me?" But here's the reality. Protecting your mental and emotional health is not selfish. It's necessary. Mindset shift. Instead of feeling guilty, remind yourself, I am allowed to choose peace over toxicity. 5. Know when to walk away. Sometimes, the healthiest option is to let go completely, even if it's painful. Signs it's time to cut ties. The relationship is harming your mental or emotional health. They refuse to respect your boundaries. You feel constantly drained after interacting with them. Practical tip: if cutting ties completely isn't possible, especially with family, focus on creating emotional distance even if physical separation isn't an option. Segment 4. Overcoming the fear of losing people. Let's be real, distancing yourself from a toxic person can feel lonely. But here's a question. What's lonelier? Being surrounded by people who drain and hurt you? Or making space for people who truly care about you? Letting go of toxic people makes room for healthy relationships. Challenge for you. Take a moment and ask yourself, who in my life drains me? And who uplifts me? Make a commitment today to nurture the relationships that bring you joy and peace. Final thoughts and takeaways. Handling toxic friends and family isn't about hatred or revenge. It's about protecting your peace, setting boundaries, and choosing relationships that nourish rather than drain you. Here's a quick recap. Set and enforce boundaries even when they push back. Control your energy, limit exposure, and avoid unnecessary drama. Accept that you can't fix them. Only they can change themselves. Let go of guilt. Choosing peace isn't selfish. Know when to walk away and make space for healthier relationships. Ask yourself right now, who in my life needs a boundary? What action can I take today to protect my energy? If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Join us next time for another dose of wisdom, right here on Life Matters Simplified. Until then, set boundaries, protect your peace, and choose relationships that uplift you.